Hey, what's up everyone? In this video I wanted to give you guys my top 10 tips and tricks to play as my favorite character, Bangalore. Hopefully I could help you guys get more kills and get you on your way to becoming a more tactical Apex Legends player, because let's be honest, more kills equals more fun. So get comfy, get cozy, get your notepad, and follow along as we jump into it. So tip number one is going to be all things smoke launcher. Now, you might be saying, well, duh, Chris, we know she has a smoke launcher. But just bear with me. Like a wise man once said, it's not the size of the piece of equipment, it's how you use it. I really don't know who said that, but we're going to go with it anyway. And in this case, it's all about how you use it. The smoke launcher should be used for predominantly 3 reasons. These reasons are cover, maneuvering, and distraction. First, let's start with cover. These smokes are extremely effective at what they do, which is create a visible barrier between you and the enemy. Therefore, properly placing the smokes in tactical positions can change the tide of the gunfight and give you the advantage you need to get ahead. The second reason is maneuvering. Maneuvering and cover work hand in hand in most cases, and I'll give you an example. In order to maneuver on the enemy in the most effective way, it is best if you are not seen. Simple stuff, right? So shoot your smokes to create that visible barrier between you and the enemy, and then maneuver to either side or onto structure in order to gain the positioning advantage in the gunfight. Now, third and last on the list, we have distraction. When using your smokes to distract the enemy, you can do so by getting creative and being unpredictable. This can mean smoking a random position in between you and the enemy to make it look like you are advancing from that direction, or it can even mean shooting your smokes in a way to create the most obstructing environment to fight in. Now that last part is a bit of an advanced tip for Bangalore, which we'll get into later on with the use of the thermal threat scope. So, as long as you're using the smokes with one of these 3 reasons in mind, then you are off to the right start. As I get into the other tips in this video, you will realize that the smoke launcher is the foundation to the most effective playstyle for Bangalore. And guys and gals, I can't stress that last part enough. There's nothing more frustrating than when I'm on a team with a Bangalore and they are not shooting their smokes at all for the entire game. I mean, they literally won't shoot it once the entire game. It's actually unbelievable. Moving on to tip number 2. When possible, have a digital threat scope on your weapon. The digital threat scope's true purpose is to be able to see in smoke or gas. It's almost like Respawn brought the digital threat scope into Apex for the character Bangalore. Here's how you use it. When pushing an enemy team or in a close quarter combat situation, smoke your position or the enemy's, and I mean smoke right on top of where they are. You want to completely cease their ability to see. At this point, you move in with your godlike ability to see through smoke and just start dropping the enemy. Every time I apply this technique, it's almost funny witnessing the sheer panic of the enemy team as they're being hit with precise shots and they can't see you at all. Also, it's important to point out most weapons that are able to attach a digiscope are some of the best in the game anyway, so it's not even a hindrance to use them in the first place. These include guns like the R99, Peacekeeper, EVA 8, and even the Prowler. So having one of these monster guns with a digital threat scope is no sweat off your back, and I guarantee you it will help propel your Bangalore skills to the next level. Tip number 3. Smoke the enemy position instead of your own. Personally, I play super aggressive in Apex Legends. My philosophy is I'd rather take the fight to the enemy and catch them off guard instead of them taking the fight to me. When you make the first move, you get to decide your positioning and path of attack. This is a huge advantage and gives you a much higher chance of success. So when I say smoke the enemy position instead of your own, I literally mean before you push them, shoot a smoke right on top of them or in front of them. This way they can't see where you're coming from. The next step is the most important and will take practice to create a habit out of it, but it is crucial. After you shoot the smoke, you apply one of the core principles brought up in the beginning of this video, maneuverability. When maneuvering or flanking the enemy's position, keep 3 things in mind. You are looking for height, cover, and surprise. First, when possible, always gain height on the enemy. Shooting from a perch makes you a harder target and gives you a great field of view. Second, don't overexpose yourself to the enemy out of excitement. When the smoke clears, it will be an even fight if all you did was push an open field on their right side while they couldn't see. Cover is paramount to success. The one great thing about Apex Legends is your ability to climb. So you climb, goddammit, and you don't stop climbing till you can't climb no more. This goes hand in hand with height. Climb, get height on the enemy, and use the structure you climbed on for cover. Finally, surprise the enemy. Whether you want to use your digital threat scope and play really aggressive and jump right in, or you want to use your newfound high position to ambush them when the smoke clears, bottom line, you are surprising them. This leads to the enemy frantically running around like a chicken with no head. Just to summarize real quick, you want to smoke them, gain height on them, find cover, and surprise the you-know-what out of them. Tip number 4, when to use the artillery strike. Let's be honest, Bangalore's artillery strike isn't the best at killing people, but that's because it's not meant to kill people. What I mean by that is that it should be used to buy time while you are doing one of 3 things: retreating, attacking, or creating space. You are going to get ambushed in Apex, probably every game. When this happens, the artillery strike could be the perfect tool for a safe escape or retreat by the enemy. This buys you time to get positioning and prepare for the upcoming attack. When attacking a group of people, the artillery strike could be very useful. Toss it on in there and add to the enemy's panic, and possibly slow them down if they are hit by one of the exploding missiles. The missiles have a similar effect to the Arc Star, in that they cause some damage while hindering movement for a short amount of time. Now, a second, more advanced tip for Bangalore's artillery strike is to use it when pushing an enemy that is in a building. Personally, I enjoy fighting an enemy team when I know all of them are in the same building, because I don't need to worry about them flanking and hitting me from a position where I wasn't expecting them. Now you might be saying, yeah, but what happens when they just walk out and leave the building? There's tons of exits in most buildings in Apex Legends for them to just leave. That's where the artillery strike comes in. When pushing the building, throw your artillery strike right next to it. This is done for 2 very important reasons. 1, it keeps all the enemies inside the building because they're not going to leave while it's raining hell outside. 2nd, the artillery strike provides noise cover for your footsteps. This gives you just enough time to climb the building and attack from a much less predictable route when the artillery strike clears. Tip number 5, smoke your teammate's position. This is a simple one, but sometimes you got to just be a team player and provide a little smoke. If you see a teammate getting destroyed and you're a little far away, launch a smoke grenade in between them and the enemy so they can retreat. One of the greatest parts about Bangalore's smoke launcher is its range. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous how far this thing can shoot. Check that. It's definitely ridiculous. So, if your teammates need some help, don't be afraid to provide some extra cover. Lastly, this should be common sense, but no one does it. If you or your teammates are attempting a revive, smoke the position on the revive. This should be done 9 times out of 10 on revives, but it's not for some reason. In almost every situation, it would help mitigate the chance of getting shot at and downed while you're reviving a teammate. Now, on to tip number 6. Move erratically when in a gunfight. It's no secret Bangalore's passive ability is she moves much faster while under fire. Use this to your advantage. If you are getting shot at, move erratically, change heights, slide, and become Batman. Wait, what? Yes, I said become Batman. Use this extra speed to maneuver on the enemy and gain positioning. What I like to do is maneuver, knock down an enemy, maneuver to a new position, knock down another enemy, and repeat. This is what I meant by become Batman. In a perfect world, every time the enemy team sees you, one of their players should be knocked down. Now, I understand in most cases, when you activate Bangalore's passive, you are on the defensive or retreating. This is fine. However, I'm saying to use this retreat to gain a new, surprising position on the enemy team. Flank them, god damn it. Tip number 7, smoke when healing yourself. Now, this tip is super quick and simple. But instead of standing in the corner applying a shield battery, stand in the corner, smoke the floor, and apply the shield battery. The less of you that is possible to see, the better. This mitigates the possibility of you getting spotted from afar and blasted while healing. Tip 8, gain the high ground. Most friends and randoms I play with in Apex Legends all do the same thing. When approaching a firefight, they just run right into the middle of it or approach from the perimeter. They knock a few enemies, maybe even kill a squad, and emerge victorious from the short firefight. Now this is great and all, except all of us have experience in Apex. Right when the dust settles, a new squad comes out of nowhere and ambushes us. This brings me to my point. Instead of pushing from the perimeter or jumping right into the middle of it, climb the surrounding structure, then lay waste to everyone visible. At least when the dust settles and you have the high ground, the approaching team looking to loot all the crates will be easily ambushed and taken out. This can be done safely and at a moderate chance of taking damage. I understand that Apex, like every Battle Royale game, is filled with a bunch of ruthless scavengers. I'm one of them. But trust me, in most cases, it's way better to risk not getting that piece of gear in order to stay alive. Tip number 9, do the unexpected. I'm going to challenge you guys to be different. Don't play the same way everyone plays Apex Legends. This is what everyone is used to, and it allows your movements to become predictable. Here's a simple scenario. You fire at an enemy on the balcony of a building. The enemy runs inside, shuts the door, and begins healing. The predictable, common method would be to charge right through the door while the enemy is weak. Now, yes, this may work most times. However, what separates the good player from the great player is skill and gamer IQ. So instead of running right through the same door the enemy just shut, or taking the stairs to go up to the second floor, get creative. Let's run it back. You fire at the enemy, they run inside and begin healing. You push them, however, this time you toss 2 arc stars inside the window to mask the sound of your character as you climb up to the top of the building. Once on top, you descend inside from the roof staircase or shoot through a peephole. I mean, which one sounds better? The arc stars disorient the enemy's ability to listen for the direction you're moving. Then you become Batman again and completely surprise them with your attack location. This is just one example of becoming unpredictable. Now I understand it's hard to just learn this because it's what we refer to as gamer IQ, but like everything else, practice makes perfect. So start getting creative with your style of gameplay. Finally, tip number 10, smoke, smoke, and smoke. This tip is less of a tip and more of me just pounding the importance of smokes into your head. How you use them is everything. Start playing aggressive with Bangalore. I don't care if you die fast 10 games in a row. I guarantee you will be better the 11th game, and you will apply a lesson learned from the previous 10 deaths. Every smoke you launch should have a purpose, whether it's to maneuver, cover, or distract. Don't just go through the motions and think that precise smokes don't really matter. Start developing that gamer IQ and really test your FPS creativity. Tactics are everything, and even though this is a video game, same rules apply. Proper tactics along with the appropriate skills equals success. This is all I got for you guys on how to be the best Bangalore possible. Please try out these methods and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you guys have any other techniques you want to share, please do. And if you like this video, go on and hit that thumbs up. And if you want to see more like it, subscribe down below and let me know in the comments. That's it for now. I'll see you guys next time.